Probably weights if you have them and blocks. Weights and a block. Maybe next weekend I'll do chairs. I was thinking about doing it today, but I'm gonna do it next weekend. What did I call this? I called this Laban Bartenieff in fitness exercise. All right, let's start. Let's start standing up. I've got my Halloween leggings on because according to Anthony, well, according to everyone I know, it's already Halloween time. Inhale, open, reach it out and up. Feel into your whole body, moving in the vertical plane. Reach out, really active. So actively stretching away from center towards the periphery. Just by stretching out, we're opening up and lengthening out like our fascia through our body. So stretch it out and up, reach, lift, arch, lift your heart, open your heart, and then exhale, reaching out to come down. Sometimes we come down really passive, but right now I want you to come down very active. Really reaching and then coming down, still staying very active, very stretchy outy. Those are the technical terms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, stretch it out and away. Two more. Inhale, open. You can go onto your tippy toes if you want. Exhale, reach away from center. Actively reach through your fingers. Drop it down. Last one. Inhale. Very active reach. Active, 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 and release. And then shake it all out. So when I'm teaching kids, sometimes I'm like, okay, put your arms over your head. And they're like this. I'm like, okay, now really stretch up. And then they go like that. I'm like, no, really stretch up. Like getting you guys all have it because you've been in movement classes forever, but really reaching into your range of motion is so important for your fascia, for the holding of your body. Let's spiral, twisting, letting your arms go, really free flow in this. So they're just out and then hitting you. No control, swinging them, letting them release. Ha. As you're doing it, maybe you're going to take in the space around you. Hopefully, every time you turn, you look all the way to the back, so you're getting a full spinal twist. Seeing with your eyeballs what's back there. Good, and let's make it come in just a little slower. Slow it down, less energy. More relaxed, getting smaller and smaller. And then you're going to stop your body and just let your head keep going. Easy and loose, as if there's no effort at all to look from side to side, like it's just this natural swing that's happening. And you can feel into your body, like for most people, there's one direction that goes easier than the other, just feeling into what your body preference is with that twist. And then as you're there, just soften your jaw, relax your tongue, droopy voice, droopy, relaxed face. And then slow it down a little bit more so it's almost just your eyes going from side to side, and really take in the outer world. Like allow it to come in, saturating you with the colors around you, all the stuff, whatever, all your stuff. Hopefully it's not too stressful to look at your stuff. I'm out here in the garden, so oh, look at this. Beautiful colors. Let that come in. And then just shake it all out, let it go. Yeah. And if you're in like an apartment and you don't have anything on your walls, maybe get a painting. Support a local artist. I'm just going to turn this light on. Uh, Although some people really like the minimalism, especially like in bedrooms of not really having anything. Let's take it down and shift from side to side. Shifting your weight from one side to the other. Letting that ripple through your spine. So tail to head. Or, yeah, like I feel like I start this movement with my butt shifting one way, then I come over that leg, and then my butt shifts the other way. And it's rippling through my body. I always feel like this is a lot of movement in my torso, and then I see the video and I go, it's not moving that much. So exaggerate the movement if that feels okay. Make it bigger. And then come into center. Let's take our hands inside of our feet, and we're going to bend and straighten the knees. Just bending your knees over your toes, plie, and then straighten, butt to the ceiling. Doesn't have to be your biggest stretch. Folding and then unfolding in the legs. Bending your knees, stretching it out. bending, stretching. 2 more. Bend and extend. And last one, bend and extend. And roll up, coming all the way up to the top. And let's circle our shoulders. Big circles. So we did all that movement with our hips, right, when we were down. Now we want to move the shoulders, circling around, creating space inside our body as we move through these circles. Big circles. Rib cage, lungs, heart, shoulder blades, scapula are really moving on your back. So you're not trying to stable them or anchor them. You're trying to stabilize them or anchor them. You're trying to move them around. Same thing in the other direction. Big circles. Well, I tell you, so we have this drought going on. I got to tell you, marigolds are hardy. They don't seem to care if there's water or no water. They're just blooming away out there. And the zinnias aren't doing too bad either. All right, so then we're going to do these side ripples. So how do we want to do it? Let's start with your hips. So hips go, then through your ribs, through your head. Hips, ribs, head. Just rippling from side to side. Let your arms hang. So we're just giving you a little more flow, encouraging movement in your spinal column, in the river of your spine, your nervous system, right? So our central nervous system, brain down through our spinal cord, and then peripheral nervous system moving out to the arms and legs. So feeling the movement from that central channel out into the arms and legs. And then, of course, we have the autonomic nervous system, which is in there, very regulated by the vagus nerve, and that is doing its own thing primarily. We can affect it by affecting our breathing, but mostly it's regulating our heartbeat, our breath, our digestion, and it's even responsible partly for orgasms. So like it's got the whole world in its hands, so to speak. Let's take it down to the floor. Cross-legged position. And side stretch. Stretching to one side, lateral stretch, lifting up, stretching to the other. If we were to talk about the planes, this would actually be in the vertical plane. We have our up, down, and our side. That's what's happening in the vertical plane. So our torso and our arms are in the vertical plane. We're going to make it more three-dimensional by circling forward, taking it to the side, letting your body move forward and around and up. So we're going from the vertical plane. As we come into this forward space right here in the forward backward, we're in the sagittal. We come back to the vertical and lift. So we're circling from plane to plane. Whenever we shift planes in movement where we go from one to another, well, it becomes much more three-dimensional, right? Because each plane has 2 dimensions in it, and then we move from one to another, so we're really three-dimensional. And that is great for your fascia. That is great for your organs. That is great for your body. The fascia is the organ of form. Let's change legs. So fascia it can look like a lot of different things. Like there's sort of filmy, cloud-like looking fascia, and then there's like also sort of wispy, almost like cobwebs fascia. And then there's big bandy fascia, which are like, it's horrible to use a non-organic analogy, but I'm going to do it anyway. Thank you, Gail Headley, for this one. Is almost like packing tape, big bands of packing tape. But even on those big bands, like our IT band coming down into our back, even when we have that big bandy stuff, underneath it, we're going to have another layer that's got fibrousness, but it's kind of gelatinous, and it may have different directionality to it. So when we move in more three-dimensional ways, we increase the capacity for movement between those layers of fascia. I think we are changing direction, but let's do this slower. Let's just go to the side. I have changed my legs. Hopefully you have too. Non-dominant leg in front. Take it down over one knee. Hang out there. Maybe a little bit of micro movement there, feeling into your body. Into center, dropping it down. Again, you can micro move in the stretch. I'm looking at the eyes on my pants. Take it to the other knee. Yeah, I've got skulls, pumpkins, bones, bats, witches, and the full moon. And then side stretch again. And inhale, open it up. Let's go back just a little faster. Sideways, but still kind of slow. Forward, center, sideways, and open. And then let's change it. Let's just do these. We're going to start with these. Easy roll across your butt, side to side. I started teaching, just doing a ballet bar yesterday. So anytime I teach ballet, there's so much external rotation in that I always need to really release in my hips the next day. We're going to take this a little further though. We're going to go onto that leg. We're going to push up and then come back down. Shifting onto that leg, push and release it back down. Onto that leg. Push, taking it into a little archy side, onto your leg. Push, press up. Push the floor away with the bottom arm. Roll, push. This is like our, I don't know, for all you people over a certain age, solid gold dancer moment. Anytime we're having that like lift off, reach, I feel like a solid gold dancer. And I have to say, I think that was probably the coolest job that anyone could have. I'm sure they weren't treated that well, but at the time, I remember, because who was treated very well in the 70s as far as like artists or movers are concerned? Who can say? Maybe they were treated well. Anyway, let's take this just to a different version. To the side, you're going to cross over and then press. So side, and you have the foot that gets to cross, and now you're going to press up. So really three-dimensional movement here as we're shifting again from plane to plane, requiring more different movement in the body. But we're staying with one hand on the bottom to support us. Also, because we're rolling across this tibialis anterior shin, we're going to be affecting the integrity of those muscles and those bones as we shift the way that they relate to gravity and to the ground, because I'm rolling across it. We're going to change it one more time. If you can push to come up. Take it back. You can push to come up. If you feel like really advanced, you can do this with no hands, where you just go across and press to come up. With my knee thing, I'm keeping my hands on the floor. So really work with what works for you. One side is good. The other side is like, I need a little more support. All right, taking it down to the floor. Onto your back. We had a special request today for more abs. So let's start with the just leg lifts. Hands are going to be down by your sides. You're going to reach your legs out below you. Coming up, lift your head, and then exhale, lower down. Sorry, exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. You could not come as high as me. You could just come to here. You can also leave your head on the floor. You can take your hands more under your butt. Each version of this is going to be a little different, what it works and how it works. Right now, what I'm kind of working into is touching my legs to my head. And that is because my back needs to stretch in that way. 3 more. But that might be too much for your hamstrings, so really listen to your own body. 2. Last one. And relax. Take your hands on your knees, big circles, lubricating up those hip sockets. Let your guts relax. Let your abdominals relax. Let your whole body relax. Yeah, to really build strength, we also want to learn how to let go, right? So that we have this spectrum of I'm really working, I'm really letting go. And then what you can get stronger if you can let go more, right? If you're kind of in the middle and you're still holding tension, you're inhibiting the possibility of actually getting stronger because you need to be in the release. Like the spectrum can't grow unless you can go to both ends of it. That's my theory anyway. Internally rotate one leg at a time. Muscles need to release to really recuperate. Internally rotating, spiraling, massaging through your back and your hips. and then come back in, feet on the floor. Let's go up, circles with your hips. My feet are slightly wider than my hips. They're about shoulder distance apart. Feeling my toes connected to the floor, big circles. Getting a little bit of a massage through my shoulders as my hips go up and change direction. Feel that whole head-tail connection, right? So you're not locking it down. You're allowing your head to move a little bit as you're also moving your tail. And then come in as high as you can. You're going to walk your feet in a little. Take your hands back down if that feels good, or leave them out, whatever feels good to you. Press up to your tippy toes and lower down. Press it up, lower. Press, lower, press, lower, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up. Let's go up and stay. Pulsing, pushing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel into your body as you're doing this. What are you noticing? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Can you relax your shoulders? 18, 19, 20. Slowly roll it down through your spine, vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way down. Relax into the floor. Shake it all out and take a happy baby. Free flow in your happy baby. Wiggling around. Let it go. Breathe. Listening into your own body. So try to really stay present with yourself as you're working out, feeling into what it feels like. It's easy to check out when you're doing anything and just go off into some other like fantasy land, but try to stay present in sensation, just being like, what does this feel like? What does that feel like? Would this feel better this way? Would it feel better that way? Let's take our hands down by our sides, big circles with the legs, out and down and up. So circle as big or as small as feels good to you. So this, I'm doing the opposite thing. When I was doing the leg lifts, my head was coming in at the same time. Now my head is down as my leg goes up. And then as they open, I look down towards my toes. So different patterning for your head-tail connection with the legs, or your upper versus lower pattern as we do it this way. I generally like to be on the exhale at the most difficult part. So for me, there's the most difficult part. Inhale. 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 2 more. Last one. And relax. Free up your head, tail. Wiggle your spine. Shake your butt. Let go of all the tension. Everything you were holding in your guts, let it go. Like, we shouldn't be walking around holding our guts in. We don't need to do that. They're not going to fall out for many reasons. They're connected by the mesentery, which is like, it's almost like a sea fan, and it's connecting all the links, or like you think of our intestines being like sausages, right? Because that's the sort of cartoon image. But it's really that each part of that long tube is connected to this mesentery, which is like folded in, but it's got this like sea fan quality, and it's anchored into our body, right? So the whole thing, it's not possible for our guts to spill out in that way, like sausages. They aren't like sausages, even though I love the image. Let's open it up and fold onto one side. Open it up and fold it onto the other side. Opening and releasing. So we don't need to hold our guts in, is what I'm trying to say. It's very Western culture to suck in your belly. It's very ballet. It's very Pilates. It's very, I don't know, military. And it's also very like macho. Suck it in, pull it all up. We shouldn't be doing that all the time. That is not healthy for our digestion or our organs. All right. Let's do some more stuff. What do we want to do? Let's do this. Contralateral movement, cross body, elbow to knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to change it. You're going to take your legs up to the ceiling, flex your feet, cross it over 1, point at the top, cross it over 2, point at the top, 3, 4, I match my couch, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's relax for a second, shake it out, let it go. And let's do hands down by our sides. We're going to do these small circles with your legs. So circling your legs around, letting this massage out your sacrum, but also letting your torso negotiate what needs to work. So your abs are working, not everything working so hard, but just what needs to work to make this circle work. And change direction. Giving your guts a chance to move, but also just working the most efficiently in your center. Letting that massage out your sacrum too. So if you want to make it harder, you can lower your legs down more, right? You can make the circle a little bit bigger, get more into that lower space. Try changing direction again. We never do this exercise like this. And I think there are multiple ways of doing it. I want you to let your pelvis move enough that you're getting that massage, like you're circling a massage in your lower back and sacrum. Compression. Change direction again. Feeling the different parts of your abs working, right? Different parts have to work. Different parts of your obliques, different parts of your rectus, different parts of your deepest transversus. And come in, shake it out. Let's just press right up on that. So we're opening the front, big breathing into it. Stick out your belly with your breath. Open that all up. Free up the inner body. And then interlace your hands behind your butt. If possible, walk your shoulders closer together. You're going to walk your feet in so they're parallel, not too far apart, so you can take your weight onto one foot. Take the other leg up to the ceiling, outward circles, inward circles. Point your toes, fold it in. Other leg up, outward circles. Push the floor away, inward circles. Fold it in. Let's go knees out to the edges and close them in. You can open your feet a little wider. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Really three-dimensional movement through that femur head, through the hip socket. So you're internally rotating and then externally rotating. Your pelvis is kind of bobbling up and down. Last one. Come into center. Open your hands. Shoulders widen. Let's stay here for a second. Just push, pull. So I'm in this diagonal through my body. My knees are pulling forward and then I'm pushing back. Just feel what's working in there. And then slowly roll it down. All the way down to the floor. Take your knees into your chest. And this time with your, just relaxing it, circle your knees. Let that massage out your back. So as I'm doing these exercises, like these are really suited to my body and the work that I do. They may not all be so great for you. So if you need to adjust anything or change it, listen to your own body. Change direction. If you need to take a break, make it easier, make it harder, whatever you gotta do, do it. And then let's roll back and forth, rounding through your spine, massaging through your back. Yeah, every day is not the day to give yourself the hardest challenge, nor is every day the day to give yourself the easiest day, right? We want to have a balance of that, where some days we're working harder, pushing it more, and some days we're easing back. And how do we know which one we should do? We listen to our body. If you want to take it into a plow and then bend your knees, go for it. and then release. And let's come onto our sides. I need a little sip of water. If you have water, maybe you want to have some. Maybe it's coffee. The great hydrator. Just kidding. Seriously, if you do drink coffee in the morning, try to drink a bunch of water before you drink the coffee. And after also. I mean, it might make you pee a lot or go to the bathroom a lot, but we want to have the water in there so we're hydrating even as we're dehydrating. Okay, let's come onto let's do this one. Coming onto your elbow and both knees, you're going to inhale, lift it up, exhale, twist and spiral, look under your armpit, unfurl, and exhale, fold it down. Inhale up, spiral and twist. Open it up, take it down. Hips lift, curl in, unfurl, up. So we would say we were enclosing, and then we're spreading. If we were talking in Labanese, press it up, roll it in, open it up, and come down. Up. So I'm pretty like controlled here, and then I like to kind of throw it out. So there's a different energy. Up, this might be more bound flow, this might be more free flow. Or we also might say, up, I'm coming into direct space as I cross my body and I look at my hand. Then I throw it out, maybe indirect space. Although it's really not about space, but up, curl it in, throw it out. Change the energy. Lower, up, and fold. Curl it in. Ha, really free it up on the top. Last one. Up, curl it in, throw it out, and release. Let's take the bottom leg forward, top leg back, side stretch. Hollow and round forward, and then inhale. Open your lungs, spiral and arch. Exhale, hollow and round. Inhale, spiral and arch. Again, great stuff for your fascia. Great stuff for your diaphragm here, especially if you're really breathing. Exhale, soften, curl, surrender. Inhale, arch, fill up, expand. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. And inhale. Take it deeper to the side, and then open it up and switch this around to the other side. Yeah, so one way of thinking about your body also, or there's so many ways, but upper, lower, right, left, cross body. Like, have we done some upper, lower patterning? Have we done some one side versus the other? Have we done some cross body spiraling? If we're cycling through those developmental patterns, we are going to feel good in our nervous system because our nervous system has gotten this little movement toning that's really three-dimensional. Like, I've taken yoga classes before and it was almost all sagittal. And I'm like, I just did not feel good afterwards. Like, my body was like, something's wrong. I really need to twist. I really need to do this other stuff. So you want to listen into your body as you're doing any kind of workout and see, is this really functional for what I want to have in my life, like my capacity to move for the next 40 years, whatever it is. Okay, we're going to inhale, lift, exhale, spiral, inhale, open. And think about it now. Think about what are your health span goals for the future, right? What do I want to be able to do when I'm 90? I want to be able to swim in the ocean. I want to be able to hike in the mountains, whatever it is. And then you got to work to make sure that that happens, right? What do I need to do now to make sure I can still do that? Inhale, open. So the same thing here. We want to come up. We're going to get more specific. We're going to get a little bound direct right under the armpit, looking at the hand, and then throw it out, free it up, and come down. Up, crossing under, opening. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Open, close, open, lower down, up, twist, free it. I've been talking. I have no idea how many we're doing. We're going to do 2 more. And last one. And come back. Knee forward. So it's on that Huberman podcast, which I've been talking about in the last few classes with Dr. Peter Attia. They're talking about lifespan, health span, hormones, all sorts of things. But the takeaway that I got was this idea of back casting, where you look at, well, when I'm 90, I want to be able to hike a mountain. I want to be able to swim in the ocean or whatever it is. Like some people just want to be able to go to the bathroom without someone helping them or eat their food without someone helping them, right? And I remember when my grandma, who lived to be 105 and a half, she lived alone until she was 103. Exhale hollow, inhale open. And then my mom moved out to Vancouver and got an apartment for the two of them. And she lived with my mom for the next 2 years. And then for the last 6 months of her life, she was in a nursing home because she kept falling down. And my mom couldn't get her up, right? So it was just not functional anymore. So she's in the nursing home. She's 105 plus. And she's like kind of not there so much, right? Pretty close to there. I mean, up to 103, she was still moving her own furniture. Let's take it onto hands and knees in her apartment. Like she liked to do that. She'd get up in the night and just move her furniture. And she did like certain things. She had exercises she did every morning. She did like bicycles like on her back with her legs up in the air in her bed. Coming back to her being in the nursing home at 105 and a half, circling your chest, lungs, and heart. So I remember my mom used to say, well, she still really enjoys her food. But, she's there in the nursing home and on her own a lot of the time. Sometimes sitting in a wet diaper. And I had asked her when she was 100, I'm like, Grandma, how old do you think you're going to live to be? And she's like, maybe 104. But she really went past that. I don't know why I'm saying this. It sounds a little morbid, but we want to think about the future. And I feel like my dad, everything he thought about the future, he told me everything he didn't want to have happen, all those things happened. So we want to think of what do we want to happen? Like, oh, I want to be able to hike a mountain. I want to be able to swim in the ocean. I want to be able to walk on the beach barefoot, for a mile or 2 miles or whatever. And so we need to think about that in our workout. All right, so we're going to do this plank, pushing forward or backward. If your wrists are bothering you, feel free to do this on your forearms. You're never too old to get stronger. Take your butt up to the ceiling. It just takes more work as we get older, right? And we also want to be working on getting softer so that we have fluidity and fluency in our tissues. Take it back down. We're going to lift the heels, round the spine, roll it forward, taking it into the plank. If you're on your forearms, hang out there. If you're on your hands, one hand to the shoulder, crossing over, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to take our knees under to the elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could do this on your forearm. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it up. Downward dog. Reach your tail to the ceiling. Push with your hands. We're going to come down for a second, and then we'll do a shoulder thing. I'm just going to show you. Give your hands an internal and external rotation. Mobius strip, lemniscatic action in the arms. What does that even mean? Look it up. I know everyone in my room knows what that means, but maybe the people in TV land. A lemniscate, a Mobius strip. It's something that has the inner becomes the outer, becomes the inner, becomes the outer. Like a really three-dimensional infinity. All right. Okay, we're going to do a downward dog. No, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, shoulder thing. Okay, so I'm going to do it this way so that you can see my shoulders. And just look at it for a second before you do it. So I'm going to sink, and then I'm going to push through. I'm going to sink, widen, push through. So as I'm sinking, I'm also rotating my arms so that my armpits kind of cup and the outer part of my elbow and humerus are facing the floor. Then I push up, pushing through, sinking down, pushing through, sinking down. We want to have that mobility. Push through, sink it down, push, sink, push. I'm going to show you what this looks like from the side also. There's the push, sinking, pushing, 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 and relax and come down. So like we want to think about the health of our scapula, arm, this relationship as having mobility, right? A lot of times we think good posture, we anchor it all into place and we don't move. And then what happens if we hang from something? It doesn't have the capacity to go up because it hasn't moved up, right? So we want to be able to hang like this, like a little monkey. We could also pull down, but we want to have that movement so that it's not just anchored and plastered onto our back. Well, there's a lot of muscles there in between our ribs and our scapula. Like, so in between the little sandwich, those should have mobility, right? And especially for women as we get older, if we aren't doing arm things, we're not climbing around, we're not lifting and pushing, we start to lose that mobility. So this relationship between our fingertips through those bones, radius and ulna, humerus, into here's my clavicle and my scapula. So that whole upper quadrant, and my scapula is over the ribs, right, with the muscles underneath. So it's fairly free there. I could really move it around. If we're really young, we might not have much muscle stuff built in there, so we might want to start to like build that relationship. But as we're older, we want to hydrate it, and we want that fascia to have the capacity to move. So the fascia is the holding of the muscle, like all the little fibrous parts. If you look at a chicken, if you look at a watermelon, not a watermelon. Well, even in the watermelon, you can't see the fibers. If you look at a grapefruit, like all the little tiny white bits, the fibrous stuff is like fascia. Even on the little tiny little beads, that's a little tiny fascicle. And our muscles have the same stuff. It's the same. Very close. We're much more like a grapefruit than we are like a machine, right? We are alive and organic and juicy. And the machine isn't. It might be greased up and lubricated with a lot of oil, but that's different. All right, let's do some leg stuff. Let's do it from all fours. This is my new favorite thing for legs. And so you could either be on your forearms or on your wrists. You're gonna take one leg out behind you. You're gonna lift it as high as you can, take it out to the side, touch it down. Lift, take it to the back, square off, find midline, lower. Up the middle, out to the side, lower down, up the side, take it back and lower. Up, side, down, up, back, down, up, out, down, up, back, down. Happy hips mobility, right? We're getting that femur head in our hip socket moving around. And change it to the other side. Up, out, down, up, out, in, up, out, down, up, out, in. Find your midline, take it to the side, lower down, up, bring it back to center. So we lift, we do a slight weight shift as we take the leg out to the side and lower, keeping it going, full big range of motion. So we're strengthening our back as well as that hip socket and butt. Two more. Last one. And come in, walk your knees back a little bit. Big circles with your hips, down towards the floor, stick your butt out in the back. Letting your body move. And change direction. So I want to say, because this is an unedited, just bang through workout, that sometimes I misspeak. Sometimes I'll say something like ASIS, and I actually mean PSIS. So just know that if you are an anatomy geek or a Laban nerd, and I say something wrong, just enjoy that fact for yourself that you knew better. Right? Because sometimes it happens. Like I'm in the flow, I'm doing my things, and I just say the wrong thing. So just understand we don't need to be perfect. There's no need for perfection. It will actually destroy us more than it will build us. All right, let's come in. Forgive yourself in the same way. Like it's great to go, oops. And I often don't even realize I've misspoken until later, and I see it and I go, oops, I totally said the exact opposite. It happens. So don't entirely trust me, is the other thing to say. Push it forward, take it back. Learn from your own experience, from what you feel in your body, not just what I'm saying. And take it all the way down. Let's go with hands next to your chest, baby cobra. Lift. We're going to take the legs up, radiate the whole thing out into an X, bring it in, come down. Upper body, lower body, X, midline, lower. Upper body, lower body, radiate out, bring it in, come down. Upper body, lower body, X, bring it in, come down. Two more. Upper body, lower body, radiate, bring it in, down. Last one. Upper body, lower body, out, in, come down. Head on your hands, curl your toes under. Let out some sound, release. Relax your body, relax your guts, relax your back. Give yourself some freedom and fluidity. Big breathing. Let it go. And then we're going to come back up, hands next to your chest. Inhale, open up. And then exhale, take it back down. Inhale, lift, exhale, release. Inhale. Initiate with either your nose or your eyes, looking up, 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 up. Let that come all the way up. And then you can start with your elbows bending to drop the pelvis and take it down through your spine. So you start top of the head, up, open, and then depending on where you are, either pelvis down or elbows bend pelvis down, roll it down. Lift and open. If you want to, try to touch your toes to your head, and then release. Take it down. One more time. We're going to do it 2 more times. The magical number for your body is 3. And take it back into a child's pose. Yeah, you can achieve a lot by doing things at least 3 times, especially for flexibility. I think that's like with weightlifting, often they're doing sets of 3, right? 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 12, whatever. If you want to be a little more dynamic and you do that kind of work, adjust your number. Do 3 sets, but do 1 set of 8, 1 set of 10, 1 set of 6, something. Just shift things around. We are already rigid enough as a culture. All right, let's come into a side. We'll just do one more side thing. One thing I want to just take note of is while you're on your side for yourself, just notice where your attention is, right? I feel like people really space out. I find it in my own body when I'm doing side lying stuff. It's like it's the daydreaming place. So see if you can keep bringing yourself back to being really present as we're here. We're going to kick up and take it down. Let's do up, passe, and kick, flex down. Up, passe, kick, down. Up, passe, batma, lower, side kick, passe, up, down, up, passe, up, down. So this is actually ballistic stretching. I mean, because you're really kicking and throwing it. This is great if you're a dancer. I don't know how great it is if you're not, although it is good to have energy to move through your body. Let's take the leg up. You're going to grab on, draw it down and in. And I'm going to do this because I've been working on my bird of paradise. And I want to get that even more stretched in. So yeah, breathing into it. And then release. And let's do a quad stretch. Grabbing, taking the knee back. You can bend your bottom leg so it's easy to balance. Take your knee back. You can take your heel into your butt, kick it out. I think I'll put a bird of paradise into my shorts. And I don't mean the shorts on my butt, which I'm not wearing. I mean shorts in YouTube. In and out, so you can see what that is. And then release. Roll over onto your back. Cross your ankle over your knee. Let's go knee over knee for this. Pick up your legs. Grab on. Circle your feet in one direction. Oh, the only way I can do it is by just thinking about circling one. and then change direction. And then the other one can join in. If I think of circling them both, I get totally confused. Draw it in and release. And let's flip over to the other side. The cats have had a lot of excitement this morning prior to class. They I have like one of the little laser pointers, which they both love, and they like charge the whole length of the house in and out, chasing the laser pointer. The white guy especially loves it, but he's the youngest. Up and in and up and down. You can do it flexed or pointed. Flexed is going to make you stretch a little bit more. Up, in, up, down. Up, in, up, down. Up, in, up, down, up, in, up, down. Batma, passe, batma, lower, batma, passe, batma, lower. Two more. Up, in, up, down. Last one. Up, in, up, and grab it. I also want to say about the cats and about life in general. We already had Lord Gaylord. Everything was going well. But I was like, well, I would like to have another cat. And I feel like it would be good for him to get more exercise. So we were just going to get one cat. And we wanted a black and white tuxedo kitty. So we were trying to get that. And we went to this amazing rescue called Cast Aside to Survive. The acronym is CATS. And they didn't really have any tuxedo kitties. They had a couple all black, two little black boys. The really sweet kitties. All of the cats were so nice at this rescue. I was like, wow, they're so well adjusted. Stretch your quad. So we decided that the little gray and white one who's a Manx, we were like, well, maybe let's get the Manx. She's a tuxedo and she's a Manx, so that's interesting. But we'd only seen pictures of her before we went to the actual place. And like when we saw her, like she's little. She's just a little kitty. I so didn't expect her to look like that. And then we also saw Anthony wanted a really chill cat, like a really relaxed cat. So we saw the white kitty too. And he asked the woman at the rescue, like, who's the most relaxed? And she's like, oh, that guy. And he was really calm and chill. I mean, they all kind of played and ran around. And both of them went and sat with Anthony. So he was like, oh, they're both really cool. So she's like, well, do you want to take two? And we're like, well, I don't know. So we didn't take her right away. Come onto your back. They kind of like to have a slow process and stretch ankle over knee. Um, so, and the other thing was I wanted a black and white tuxedo kitty that was really healthy. And what did I end up with? I ended up with these two cats. Both of them have kind of health problems, and they're absolutely perfect for me. So sometimes we think we want one thing, but we really get the thing that is perfect for us. Circle your feet, change direction. The little Peapod doesn't have any more health problems. She's good, but the white one has been having digestive problems the whole time. And like I have tried every diet. I mean, they like giving them enough time to adjust, but he's definitely got some kind of food allergy. Give yourself an inner thigh stretch. Open it up. Shake it all out. Yeah, but when you're like seeing the future of what you want, like I want a black and white, one single black and white kitty. What do I end up with? Two. No one's black and white, and they're great. All right, take your feet underneath you. If your knees feel okay, knees go forward, heels go back. If it hurts to be in deep flexion, just hang out there. There's a PIL song, Johnny Rotten, and it goes, this is what you want, this is what you get. This is what you want, this is what you get. And that's pretty much what life is, right? Sometimes we can be specific. I did get a cat. Not only did I get a cat, I got two. So I got what I wanted. I just didn't get exactly the specifics of what I wanted. And you know what? They're so great. I totally love them. Open your feet wide, shift from side to side. I would have also said that I would never get a white cat because white cats tend to have health issues and they tend to be a little more crazy. But this white cat is just so wonderful and hilarious. Bring it in, roll it up all the way to the top. And yeah, if you need some life in your life, get a cat. Inhale, open. And don't have any expectations of who or how they're going to be because they will defy that completely. Inhale, open, and exhale. Last one. Inhale, open, and exhale. Shake it out. Other people have kids. I have cats. Not unhappy with that decision. All right, so I am going to close this down. If you are there in TV land, like and subscribe. Share this stuff with your friends. Consider becoming a Patreon subscriber because I could frankly use it. Like, this is not like I'm not making tons of money here, people. Help me out. That's my